Using a college professor analogy, you're teaching class again. New syllabus, new way of grading, new assignments?
It's the same syllabus, same kind of idea, same way of grading, same standards. The standards don't change. A couple new classmates, but really excited, man, where these guys are.
What have you seen in camp so far that is separating the receivers?
Just their competitiveness and toughness. You know, that's an area that I've really challenged them in particular blocking on the perimeter, and the guys have responded well to that. You know, we've had some additions to the room that have done a good job in helping change the mindset of the room, and it's been really good so far.
Coach, to your right.
What can Malachi and Will bring this offense?
Yeah, I think the first thing is leadership. You know, leadership and presence. Those guys have played a lot of football, played a lot of games. Obviously, both of them are very, very talented. You know, Malachi brings another threat for us into the boundary. You know, he's a big target, really good in contested catch situations, and so, you know, we'll try to make it tough on defenses. And then Will is extremely quick and does a great job of getting separation in the slot, and so it's a good combination of guys to add to the guys that we have.
And then where's that sophomore class at with Cam, Mike, and Logan? How are their camps coming for them?
Yeah, I think all three of those guys have had a really good camp. You know, Cam's coming along. You know, he's made some big plays for us in practice, which has been really good to see. He's taking some steps forward. Logan's doing a really good job in the slot. Mike has done a really good job in the boundary. And I think, you know, having those older guys that have come in and those guys have done an outstanding job of leading them and pushing them and getting them to raise their game.
We go to Ben.
When it comes to the junior class, looking at Greathouse and Faison, how have you seen them sort of take that next step to where they could be, you know, the reliable guys as well?
Yeah, really excited about them. You know, both of those guys, you know, they got a couple years under their belt. You know, they're our most experienced guys, you know, that have been here and know how things go. And so, you know, they're really good leaders for us in their own way. And so, you know, seeing where those guys finished the season off last year, you know, really looking forward to continuing to build upon that, and hopefully it grows here in this season.
You mentioned the toughness of the transfers. How have you seen sort of the room as a whole embrace that, and why can this be a group that steps up this year? Yeah,
man, I think they all, you know, we challenged them a good bit, and I think all of them have raised their level of play when it comes to a little bit of grit and toughness, and it's the things that it's just preached from the top, right? It's from our head coach, it's from Coach Freeman, it's right on down to Coach Denbrock, and then it permeates throughout the rest of the offense. So, you know, those guys have taken that challenge really personal, and they've taken it well, and so just looking forward to seeing them compete.
Stay right there, Angelo.
Coach, building off of that, could this be the year that the wide receivers are a strength of this team again? It's been a while since that's been the case, and if so, why do you feel it can be?
I think it can be for sure. You know, time will tell. You know, different years bring different challenges. The thing that I love most about this group is that they're all very selfless, and all they want to do is win. And that's the special thing about this team. And it's about the team. It isn't about one position. It isn't about one person. It isn't about one player. You know, it's about achieving team glory every Saturday, you know, or in this case Sunday, you know, when we go out there and we play. And so that's what you love about them. You know, when their numbers are called, they'll be ready to go. And whatever we need to do to earn a victory on Saturdays or Sundays, and that's what we'll do.
And you mentioned things starting from the top. Coach Freeman has challenged that group at times about pass catching and making those catches. How has the group taken that kind of critique from their head coach over time?
Yeah, I mean, he's challenged all of us. You know, he's challenged us as coaches and just finding ways to get better. You know, and you know, as it goes to our room, and those guys have taken it very well. You know, taken it very well. They've taken it personal, and you know, just looking to get better each and every day. And so it's really exciting to watch, and you know, they're raising each other's level of play, which is the most exciting part.
Coach, you rotated 5 last year. I guess, are you on a similar path this year, or do you still need a couple weeks to kind of figure that stuff out?
We got a lot of guys in the room, specifically 4 guys that have played a lot of football for us, that have played, you know, all the way from the beginning of the season last year all the way through to the end of the season last year. Those guys that have experience, I mean, their expectations are the same as are mine, and the guys that are beneath them know that in order to break that and become part of that fold, that they have to execute at the same level. They have to make as many plays as those guys do, and they need to be on par with those guys for anyone to enter that group. So to answer your question, yes, we're on par for the same type of deals last year.
And then what steps would you like to see your room take over the next couple weeks before you get to Miami?
You know, we just got to get over this big block Coach Freeze emphasized. I'm sure you guys have talked to him. this block 3 is really important, okay? It's hotter than it's been. We've been hitting each other for weeks. It's the same, we says we had 2 blocks of camp, but we had OTAs before that. So we've been hitting each other, and in summer before, it's been a lot of ball that we played. It's starting to get hot. We need to dig our cleats in the ground, and we need to finish plays, finish periods. 6-play drive, we need to have good knee bend, finish square on the tackle when we're hot, when we're tired, when it's hard, excuse my language. Like, that's what we need to prove right now. And we need to prove we can do it together as a room.
Elliot, go ahead.
What's one quality you need to see from the linebackers to start them on Saturday? What are you kind of looking for?
To be a starter on Saturday, you're saying?
Yes.
They need to be, they need to know, they need to be tough, they need to be smart, and they need to be competitive, and they need to be elite communicators. Yeah, that's what they need to be.
Angelo, right down the middle.
Coach, what does Drayk bring as you guys look to fill the void of Jack departing?
I think Drake's been, he's been kind of going like this as a freshman, sophomore should. I know he's farther along than that in school, but Drake's a guy that you feel him out there. You feel him, you see him, he leads, he's in front of the group. It means the world to him. I think cutting baseball really allowed him to focus on football as much as anything. It allowed him to get some rest, so that he could be the best version of himself. His body could be the best version of himself, and I think that's what's starting to show up, on the practice field.
And Jaylen seems like he has a presence about him
That's right.
this year compared to maybe years past. How has that kind of grown, and how can that allow him to take the next step on the field?
Similar to a lot of the guys in the room, I think Jaylen Sneed is still on I know he's a senior, but he's still. I think his potential is 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, even maybe. I mean, he's a guy he's now consistently 230 plus pounds. He's never able to do that before this year. He has now been able to hold that weight. He's still working on, consistent footwork. That's something that didn't come natural to him, but he's working at it. He's fighting through it, and he's gotten a lot better. And he knows this is it's probably his last year. He graduates, after this semester, God willing, and he knows what's at stake, and he's taking it that way.
Gonna go to your far left. Drew.
Sneed and Ausberry both added a good amount of weight in the spring. How have you seen that extra weight kind of help their games when they're in fall camp?
For Sneed, it's helped him immensely. Okay, because for Sneed, with the weight came his square base and the ability to take on blockers and to be able to squeeze the space and not have his feet tied up and falling over and top heavy. So with Sneed, that's what I saw was your ability now. You're not just blitzing and going like this. I'm blitzing and posting and squeezing the space out of that thing. That's how it's shown for Sneed. For Jaiden, he's a guy that, to be honest with you, whether he's 215 or 230, sometimes it's hard to tell which one he is. But because he just carries the weight so well. But for Jaiden, it's knockback in his tackles. It's okay, Jaiden. You're in the right spot. You can fly around. You float. You're one of the guys we call an eraser. But now we got to make sure that I got to take on a tight end, and with the tackles right here, that guy's going that way, and that's not 2nd and 4. That's Jaiden's big thing, and that's what the weight has allowed him to do.
Thank you.
Yep.
Go with Benny.
Max, being that there is so many guys who have gotten a lot of snaps over the last couple of years, why can this be the best linebacker room in the country?
Well, I don't think we don't like to compare ourselves or look ahead or worry about what other people are doing. I think that's other people's job. Our job is to come to work every day and try to be the best version of myself, the linebackers, and then the defense. And then to me, if we worry about anything other than that, then we're cheating ourselves and we become average like everybody else. We need to worry about what's right in front of us today, this evening, and then tomorrow, and let the rest take care of itself.
And then what has Coach Ash brought to sort of elevate the entire defense and the linebackers in particular?
Yeah, I mean, a guy like Coach Ash comes, he's got a lot of experience in a lot of different areas. I mean, that's what's awesome about Coach Ash is he's done it from college to NFL to head coach to coordinator to all kinds of different roles to talent evaluator. Those are all things that are, obviously I don't have experience in all those things. So it's been great to have that seed of wisdom, I guess you'd call it, or that overview to kind of paint the picture for what we're going to look like moving forward.
Malachi, when you entered the portal, what kind of led you to Notre Dame?
Just getting on a visit, talking to coaches, talking to the players. Just a different, special place here, man. Just everybody being the people they are is really what led me here.
And then on or off campus, has anything kind of surprised you about Notre Dame so far?
No, I think everybody just making plays on the field. All the different guys we have making plays and just coming together as an offense has just been exciting. That's been the biggest part for me.
We're going to go to Tyler.
What do you feel you bring to offense that defense should be worried about?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What do you bring to the offense that the defense should be worried about?
I think just physicality, big playmaker ability.
Bennett, go ahead.
Malachi, Coach Brown talked about how you and Will have kind of brought a toughness to the room. Why is that something you take pride in? And you kind of did show it a little bit last year when playing in Notre Stadium.
I think just because being an older guy, it's a young room, just coming in, trying to be a leader, trying to, give the wisdom that I have to these guys, and also listening, what they have, because they've been playmakers as well, being the program or the season they had last year. So just giving what I can give and taking what they got as well.
What excites you about playing in this offense, having Coach Brown, having Coach Brock, and obviously a talented quarterback as well?
I think just all the potential for big plays and just exciting things we can do as an offense as a whole. All the different guys around the room can make plays. The running backs, the quarterbacks. So it should be fun offense. Yeah.
We're going to park to your left. Drew.
You had obviously a semester before you were able to come as you finished up your degree. What were you kind of working on when you were kind of, I guess, away from a team? And it sounds like you're overcoming an injury as well. How's your recovery with that?
It's been good. It was weird, not having a team setting, being on my own, working out for a while. But, it was something I focused on, just trying to start a schedule, getting on a routine of working out, getting a run in, still focusing on my classes. So, I was working on releases, top of the route stuff, just, with some of my guys back there, just trying to stay in and trying to stay active, not being around that team setting. So.
And we've seen you, you're a bigger player, but we've seen you out there working in screen passes and stuff like that. Is there do you feel like you can kind of do it all, or what are maybe some areas that you feel like you're hoping to grow in this offense?
I definitely feel like I can do it all, but I definitely do want to work on, creating separation and also, catching the ball short and taking it down the field for a long play. You usually see the smaller slot guys catching the screen, but I want to showcase that's something I can do as well.
Right next to him, Len. Malachi, one question. You come from an established program, but have you learned anything about the game of football by being at Notre Dame?
Man, I think I just learned that there's a bunch of people who can go out and make plays in this offense specifically. We got young guys, we got older guys. I don't think anything new about the game of football specifically, but just about the people I have around me. I think I just learned more about them.
Will, outside of your speed, where can you help this offense?
Yeah, I think aside from obviously speed and ability to kind of maneuver out the slot, find windows, make guys miss and separate in one-on-one coverage, I think just the way I play, the effort I bring, whether it's on the perimeter blocking, I think that's something I've been trying to bring to the room. Because obviously someone who comes in and works hard every single day is going to treat every play like it's last on the practice field, on the game field, whatever it is. So I think that's something I bring to this room.
And then 8 months into it, what's it like playing for Denbrock and Coach Brown for a second time?
Yeah, I think 8 months in, I think kind of the first kind of spring ball, obviously I missed a little bit of spring ball. Once I got acclimated, got to spring ball, things went well. And I think over the summer, getting in the room, meeting with the quarterbacks and the rest of the offensive unit, I think kind of understanding the scheme, what we're trying to do on offense has been it's been smooth. And I think the first few blocks of fall camp has been going really well. It's been very competitive, and everybody's in the room competing. So I'm excited for what the season's going to be like.
We'll go with Bennett in the half.
Well, when it comes to Coach Brown was talking about how you and Malachi brought a toughness to the room. How are you trying to kind of instill that in the rest of the guys and some of the younger guys as well?
Yeah, I think the best way to kind of instill it is doing it every day. I think Coach Brown tried to show an effort clip or somebody who's training every day to kind of start the meeting off, and I think I've probably been on those clips almost every day. I've been trying to get on those clips every day, whether it's making plays with the ball in your hand or it's blocking a guy and showing those effort plays without the ball in your hands. I think that's something I've been trying to do and just show like the ball finds energy. So if you're bringing energy to the offense, whether it's blocking or doing things on the perimeter, I think the ball's going to find you. So I think that's something I've been kind of instill to the younger guys.
And having experience with this coaching staff a little bit from other places, how are you trying to sort of teach some of the younger guys the ins and outs of it, and what is some of the biggest takeaways, and why can this be one of the better rooms on the team?
Yeah, I think obviously for me, being in my 5th year, I've seen a lot, I've been through a lot, so I think kind of being able to relay that to young guys in the room so they understand kind of what to expect or kind of they know what to do, what not to do, what worked for me, what didn't work for me. And I think that kind of helps the room because we have so many guys in the room older, younger, that are just so versatile, and I think that's what's going to be able to help us be a very competitive room this year, just our ability to move guys around, to create mismatches, whether it's moving Faison in the slot, out of the slot, JG in the boundary to the slot, whatever it is. I think that's what makes the room so special. We have just a lot of guys that are very versatile and who are competitors at the end of the day.
Well, we're going to Sabrina right here.
What's impressed you the most with Malachi Fields so far?
Yeah, I think the thing that kind of impresses me most with Malachi is kind of probably just the way he works off the field. I think obviously we know who Malachi is on the field. He's a big body receiver who's going to go make plays down the field. But I think when you sit down and you talk to Malachi and you learn more about him and the man he is, I think that's something I really admire. He's a really good big man of faith. We've been to church multiple times together, and we've sat down to eat. I've met his family and his lady, and they're great people. And he's someone who I look up to and who I learn from each and every day.
Go ahead, Lynn. One question. What's it like going up against the Notre Dame secondary?
Yeah, it's fun. At the end of the day, I'm a competitor, so whatever competition is up, I'm jumping at it. And I think the DBs have done a great job this fall camp as well into the spring, is challenging me, challenging the receiver room as a whole. We've had our days, they've had their days, and I think that's what's so special about this team is we compete our tails off on this practice field, and then when you get off in the locker room, it's kind of like it never would happen. The brotherhood's the brotherhood. So I think definitely playing against Notre DBs every day hasn't been easy, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's making me better, and it's making this team better.
Jordan, where have you noticed the growth in your game just with it being year two in the same offense?
Yeah, just understanding the offense completely, understanding my job and taking it to the next level, knowing why I'm doing my job, and being able to see defenses, the game slowing down for me out there on the field. I'm able to recognize before, snapping and after snap, putting things together, understanding.
And then health-wise, you battled through that ankle last year. What can a healthy Faison bring to the offense?
Yeah, I'm able to play with clarity. No more having to focus on my ankle or do things around my ankle. Is full speed ahead, and being able to do that, get back to myself and do what I got to do.
Jordan, to the left over there, second to Kim.
What do you think? There's so much change in college football from year to year, but what about maintaining a championship contending culture? What does a team have to do that?
Yeah, it's huge. From last year, obviously, we're keeping that pain with us. Throughout, we had it through the summer, having it now throughout fall camp. But having that and knowing, it's become the new expectation, the new standard for us. We're going to go out there and do what we got to do every day to meet the expectation.
One camera over with Bennett.
Jordan, having Will and Malachi in the room now, Coach Brown talked about how it's kind of brought more of a physical nature to the wide receiver room. How have you kind of seen that develop here in the fall camp?
Yeah, it's big time. They're both dogs. Their mentality when they come to the facility is, through the roof. Malachi, obviously, y'all seen in the boundary, be able to go up there and make plays, and then Will's fast, quick with lightning, and he understands the game fully. And then both of them in the blocking game as well, helping the run game is huge. Following those guys, being able to watch them play and play with them is just very fun.
And then when it comes to just kind of the offense as a whole, and particularly actually the wide receiver room, how can this be a strength of the team this year, knowing that there is experience, and obviously you and Jaiden plus some of the younger guys?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously with young quarterbacks too, helping them out and both get on the same page, as well as our running back room, which is a phenomenal room. All those pieces coming together as well with the O-line. Our offense, we're just going to go out there and show what we've been working on all summer and all camp.
Sabrina right here.
Kind of building off that question, what's the culture kind of look like with this wide receiver room right now?
Yeah, our culture is, we got to do what we got to do, play fast, play hard, and play together. You're playing for your brothers around you, no matter if you're getting the rock, if you're not getting the rock. Can't get down on yourself and make a bad play. It's next play mentality, and you want to play for your guys. Run play, going in there, helping the running backs get work, and then pass play, do what we got to do to get the ball.
Jaylen, you touched on it in the spring, but how's kind of carrying the extra weight kind of going for you now that you've had a couple months under your belt?
It's going great. Just the strength staff, Lando, Coach Hale, and Fusco, they've really been just helping me learn how to use my weight and just get stronger in the weight room. So just a big shout out to them, and speed work too. Speed work has been a big part of my progression. So just being at a bigger weight, speed work with Lando and stuff, it's just been great.
And then has it hit you that you're a senior yet?
Not really, because we do this thing called senior speeches, and we do it in front of the team, and I haven't done mine yet, so I don't think it's really hit me yet.
Right.
Jaylen, how's it been working with Coach Ash and kind of learning the different aspects that he likes compared to Coach Bowen?
It's great. Just learning two guys that have been at the NFL level, just learning the differences that they teach, but you can bring them all together. It's just being able to take some things that Golden taught me, take some things that Ashton's teaching me, and just put them together and be able to make plays.
And working alongside Drayk, how can the two of you and sort of be some of the best linebacker tandem in the country?
Drake's great. I mean, he's just out there. He's a leader. He's able to tell people, like, help people out with their assignments and roles. Like, he's just a great dude all around. He's a great dude in the locker room. And, like, I wouldn't want to be playing by anyone else. And then to have Oz and King, like, us four, like, it's going to be one of the best linebacking corps in the country this year.
Go ahead, Angelo, right down the middle.
Jaylen, building off of that, replacing Jack, obviously old, reliable back there, but you guys all had a lot of experience last year. How has that transition gone, knowing you don't have that reliable voice next to you?
I don't think it's really replacing Jack. I feel like it's playing for Jack because of the stuff that he did and the standards that he set. So, like, it's just playing for him and the LBs that came before us and showing them, like, them that we can play to their standard and play as good as they did in the past.
And then you talk about how good the linebackers can be. What do you feel about the defense as a whole? How good this defense can be?
It can be so good. I mean, we can be as good as we want to. We just have to keep working hard in practice, keep getting the coaching points from Coach Ash and our coaches, and just keep working. I feel like we're doing really good this fall camp so far. So, yeah.
Sabrina, right here.
How different do you feel just entering this fall camp than last year for you?
Ooh, good question. I mean, I feel so good. Like, I feel like I'm just so much more, what's the word? Like, focused and, like, set in, like, just because, like, this is my senior year. Like, it's not my last year, but, like, I want to, like, go to the NFL. So I feel like this is, like, the year I have to lock in, focus, and be the best I can be.
You talk about being focused, but what does the mindset for you, I guess, look like?
Ooh. I mean, Coach Max always talks about domination and, like, how, like, we want to be the most dominant unit in the country, and that's really what it is. Like, I just want to be dominant, and I want my position and defense to be dominant and, like, just be dominant as a whole.
Over on your left.
Jaylen, do you get the sense this team has had to maybe rebuild championship culture? Because every year you kind of start again, and just how do you feel that process is going?
I don't think we're necessarily rebuilding. I think, like, we're building on because, like, we have so many guys coming back from the not championship but runner-up team, and, like, we're just building on taking, like I said earlier, from Jack, Howard, Riley, Mills, all those guys, Riley Leonard, like, just the standard that they set. Like, we're trying to play for them and play for, like, another championship this year.
Kelly.
Who's the toughest offensive player right now to play against and go through?
I would say the whole offensive line as a whole. I feel like they're just getting so good together, and it's just so hard to go against them. It's on third down, first and second down. Like, they're just such good run blockers and stuff like that. Like, yeah, O-line, definitely.
Okay, so you'd say which department they're getting better at compared to last season is?
Ooh, I think everything, honestly. Last year, I felt like it was, like, kind of like picking up the pieces because so many guys got hurt. But I feel like this year, like, they know, like, their roles and they know their jobs, and all of them are just, like, meshing together, and, like, it just looks like one unit out there, and it looks great.
We're going to the far left for the last one. Go ahead.
You haven't always had the easiest time here, but you've stuck it out even through some tough moments. Does that make kind of going into your senior year seem more satisfying, knowing you kind of had to overcome some things?
Definitely, like, not playing really freshman or sophomore year, like, really, like, put it into perspective for me. Like, everybody's journey is different. Like, you're not going to be like Benjamin Morrison, a freshman All-American, but, like, you just have to stay in your lane and know what your journey is going to be, like, and keep working. Like, I feel like this experience has just taught me to keep working. Like, whatever you want in life, like, you're going to have to work for it, and that's really it.
Then you touched on that, added weight. What do you feel like that allows you to do on the field that maybe you couldn't do as easily before?
I feel like it allows me to be, like, a bigger body on the field, fill up gaps, and get off blocks faster and easier.
Drayk, all the linebackers kind of have different skill sets. I guess how do you kind of see that complementing each other so far?
Yeah, we all do different things, and it's kind of helping us in a lot of ways, especially this year with our new defense. Learning, I can learn from King of how to edge rush. Same thing with Sneed, kind of learn zones, learn spacing. And so, that was something I did a lot last year with Jack, kind of just learning route concepts. And so being able to teach and help the others with understanding route concepts and zones and how to manipulate that type of thing. So it's all kind of helping each other and building each other.
And then you went to Dallas for a couple weeks in the summer. I guess when you just get out of that training?
Yeah, so I did some linebacker work and then mainly some edge rush stuff, and obviously some training. But just learning some moves and being able to be able to edge rush is something I wanted to add on into my arsenal. And so just a couple moves and like learning how the offense is going to set against me, stuff like that, what I can work. That was the main takeaway I got from Dallas.
Going to your left. Staying on that theme, Drayk, during the offseason, what did you focus on? Was it mental, skill, physical, and how was that translated into camp?
It was mainly physical. Just making sure my body's refined. Like I wanted to lean out, make sure I'm quick, flexible still, and so that was my main goal this summer. And then, obviously, like I said, doing linebacker training, edge rush, and then a little bit mental, just making sure I'm still going through the playbook. Learning the details as it is a little bit of a new playbook. So. Just making sure I know the details, being able to come back, help others. That's kind of what my summer consisted of.
You learned leadership under JD and Jack. How is that translated into your leadership style? Can you define it?
I like to play with emotion, and so when I'm playing with emotion, I like to help others play with emotion. I feel like that's something our defense does well. We play with a lot of emotion. When one person gets going, it's like a chain reaction. So. That's how I like to lead. And communication is something I've worked on a lot throughout this summer, and I feel like that's come through and shown in fall camp. Just being able to talk to different personnels, talking with the D-line, talking with the safeties, just being able to communicate between them, and then just learning how to talk to each person. That was something JD taught me, you got to be able to talk to different people, different ways, and so, yeah.
When it comes, last year you had the experience of old man Jack Kaiser, and you obviously had to play a bunch too, but what do you kind of feel like is, what do you feel like you've developed to be able to take over that role from Jack?
He taught me a little bit differently than JD. Jack was more of the guy that thought a lot, wanted to understand every little detail, ask a bunch of questions. And JD was more like, I understand it, just whatever, I don't really need questions. And so Jack really taught me to think through the game and how to think through it. Like I said, he taught me understand route concepts, what the offense is trying to do against different coverages. And so that was something that I was really able to learn under Jack, and that's kind of where I grew last year. And, I want to take the next step, so that's something I've been working on my own. That was how Jack, worked with me, and that's what I wanted to learn from Jack. He was such an older guy. He had seen so much, seen so many different playbooks, different offenses, and so, that was something that he helped me with a lot. And then along the leadership, just like I said, being able to talk with different people. Jack had to learn how to talk. He's an older guy. A lot of our team is younger, so he had to learn how to talk to a younger person, not JD or Maris that's the same age as him.
And then Jack grew up pretty close to here. You grew up pretty close to here. Having a second guy up the middle be from Indiana, how much pride do you take in that and being able to showcase it in this area?
Yeah, it was really special. A lot of people in Indiana, I think, for me at least, it was Notre Dame or not, but I've said my story, it wasn't. And so, being able to share that with somebody from Indiana, another person from a smaller town that went to a smaller school, it was really special, especially since the run we went on. But it was super special.
Okay, just to keep us going, because everybody wants to talk to where to do what. Okay, so on.
How much does last year's playoff run give you this team as a whole confidence, and also how much motivation does it bring that you guys were that close to the summit but just missed out?
I would say it gives us more motivation and confidence. We are always a confident group, but last year was last year. It's over. Like different people coming in, different people left. So, for me especially, it was motivation. Like I've kept it on my phone, the score on my phone every day, and so it was just the way we went through the playoffs, and then being that close. We were 8 points away, we were a score away, and so it's just more motivation of just remembering what happened. We had to stay and keep the pain, and so it's just keeping that pain as motivation throughout the summer, spring, and into the fall.
Sabrina.
Oh yeah, given how you played last year, what did you learn from that experience?
One of the things that I learned was just being able to control what I'm seeing. That was something that towards the start of the season, I was, my eyes were everywhere. I wasn't really seeing what I needed to see. And so that was something that I was able to calm myself down, be able to see everything, see what I needed to see, make sure my eyes were in the right place. And, that was something Jack really helped me with, of making sure that I understood what the offense was giving us, and, just being able to calm down, be able to put my cleats in the ground, and be able to feel where I'm supposed to.
Kelly.
You talk about, learning from the older guys last year, but this year, is there any younger guys in the linebacker that you've kind of taken under your wing?
Teddy and Maddie, really all of them. We, as a whole, we try to, as a linebacker, try to help each other out. There's some things like, Bodie's really good at getting into breaks. Kahanu's very physical. He works moves really well. Madden and Kyngstonn are pretty much basically the same. They're very quick off the edge. They can play in the box. They're strong, fast. Jaiden, he's really good in coverage. So, Sneed can kind of do it all. So it's just like stuff we learn from each one of them, of what they're seeing, what they're trying to do, how they're doing it, and we all try to grow as a collective unit.
Drew, you got the last one too.
Jack primarily wore the green dot in his helmet to communicate with the coaches. I assume that's something you're going to be doing a lot this year. What are some challenges of kind of learning to do that, having the coaches in your ear while you're diagnosing the play? What have you been doing to get comfortable with it?
So it's something we do during practice every day. All of us have it. So it's just something we try to work. Coaches will talk, but at a certain time limit, somebody will tap them and it's cut off. So we really try to simulate a game, really it's get the call and then echo it. But we have a system of one person get the call, the other person get the formation, we'll communicate, and then we get to where we're supposed to be. So we've developed a system the last couple of years that has really helped, especially with teams that run tempo. Like you got to get set quick, get the call quick, and so it's something that we work on during practice all the time. And so it's not been terrible. It's been a pretty easy transition.
Go ahead, Matt.
Jaiden, how's your game changed now that you have a year of experience under your belt?
Oh yeah, I think it's changed a lot. I think I had a lot of learning lessons last year, especially with Jack, the older guy, being here and just learning from my teammates and my peers as well. So I think this year I'm really looking to elevate. So.
And then I don't know if we asked you in the spring, but what did it mean to go back home and play in that Sugar Bowl and obviously win it? Yeah,
it meant a lot. Being in front of a lot of my family, a lot of friends, and especially winning it, and then I had the fumble recovery too. It was a really cool, fun experience, and yeah.
We got it. Go ahead, Angelo, right in the middle.
Jaiden, how good can this linebacker room be?
Oh yeah, I think we can and are the best linebacker unit in the nation. I think we have versatility on all three levels. We have a lot of experience under our belts, and the sky's the limit for us this year. So we got to keep elevating, keep getting better every day.
How have you grown as a person and a player in your time so far at Notre Dame?
Oh yeah, I think as a person, my leadership, being able to relate to all the players, especially the young players coming in, helping them learn the game, teaching them, the game, and then on the field, my weight has gotten up this year. I'm up to 230, so being a better player in the box and still having the ability to cover and run. So, I think this year is really, going to be a good year.
Go ahead, Bennett.
When it comes to having Coach Ash lead this defense now, what excites you about things that he's brought to this defense that can make it even better?
Oh yeah, his play calling is really versatile. He calls us some zones, some man, but we have different variations of it. So, with him coaching us, I think he really lets everybody, show their best talent, like whether that's pass rush, covering, in the box. So I think everybody is liking it and everybody's being able to, show their best ability. So.
Kyngstonn, were you a better player 2 weeks into camp this year compared to 2 weeks into camp last year?
Fundamentals, execution, and communication. Those are three things I've been working on.
And then you spoke highly of your relationship with Madden when you first got here. How's that kind of grown since he's been on campus for the last 8 months?
Yeah, it's like a little brother, man. We iron sharpens iron. We spend a lot of time together, and I've been able to share my experience with him and things that he has questions on or he needs help with, and he's done a great job so far.
We're going to Angelo right there.
Kyngstonn, how have you kind of grown as a player overall, or a person overall, being here at Notre Dame over these years?
As a person, I've grown to, embrace the challenges that come my way. I feel like, it's been hard
Definitely hasn't been easy, but it's allowed me to grow into the man that I am right now, and it's allowed me to, look at different perspectives of things that's going on. And as a player, I feel like I've grown as a leader, and I've been able to communicate a lot better with the whole defense.
And then obviously you guys lost a great leader in Jack, talented player, but you guys have a lot of talent coming back. How excited are you when you look around and see the guys that are on the field with you at the linebacker room?
Really excited. We got a lot of guys that can go, and it's going to be a great year.
Go right to his left.
Kyngstonn, why can this be one of the best linebacker rooms in the country, given that there is so many guys who have seen so many snaps over the last 2 years?
There's a lot of speed, a lot of strength, but it's a lot of guys that are, putting the team above themselves. Doing their best to give their best every play. Being detailed and communicating with everybody, making sure the defense is on the same page. It's going to be a great year.
And then having Coach Ash in the mix now, what have you learned about his system and his scheme that kind of excites you about playing this year?
Yeah, he has a lot going on up there. He brings a lot of stuff to the defense, a lot of experience from the next level from the NFL, and he's excited to work. It's a great time to work with.
Oh, go ahead, Tom.
What's your biggest personal goal for the season coming up?
Biggest personal goal? Make more tackles than I did last year.
That's it?
It's just one of them.